Oh, there was plenty of stupidity to go around last week. And in the words of the late, great Lawrence Welk, here are some highlights. It got started with a Las Vegas group calling themselves Putin. That's Putin. Stands for Pigeons United to Interfere Now. What they did is they glued tiny "Make America Great Again" hats to the heads of pigeons in the run up to the debate in Las Vegas. According to the group, the release was coordinated to serve as a gesture of support and loyalty to President Trump. Now that's pretty stupid. But wait, it gets better. A Las Vegas pigeon rescue organization, let me repeat myself, a pigeon resource organization, called the stunt animal cruelty. Well, fierce bickering broke up between the pair of the groups, and PETA got involved as well. And this is what politics has come to in the U.S. Bickering between Putin and pigeon heads. But if you think that's bad, then there was the actual debate. So the Dems got together for the 87th debate in a series of 104 down in Las Vegas. And I hate to say it, but I actually tuned in for this one. I was a little curious to see what was going to happen with the addition of ex-mayor Bloomberg. Well, Bloomberg spent about $400 million so far and decided to go get stomped on national TV. Warren attacked him over non-disclosure agreements in his company, to which Bloomberg replied, yeah, but not that many of them. It was like this throughout. Bloomberg was like a deer in the headlights. You know, billionaires are probably not in the habit of being challenged by people, and Bloomberg was clearly out of his element. If he's smart, he'll have everyone who watched this debate performance sign a non-disclosure agreement. Now, I suppose Bloomberg's strategy could be to make people feel sorry for him, but I think it's more likely that he's just getting very bad and no doubt very expensive advice to try and act reasonable. Newsflash! We live in unreasonable times. Check the trash bins for all the reasonable candidates on both the left and right. A reasonable loses. A reasonable is stupid. If you want to win, you gotta be idiotic. Talk about grabbing them by the pussy. Talk about solar-powered airplanes. Talk about your pronouns. The wackier the better. Consider the rest of the field. Joe Biden is going senile right before our eyes as he continuously confuses where he is, challenges voters to push-up contests, and calling questioners out as lying dog-faced pony soldiers.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas' only redeeming feature seems to be a loud voice and continued indignance over everything from non-disclosure forms to horse-faced lesbians and wine caves. Pete Buttigieg is a walking, talking NPC, pre-programmed to spew out poll-tested talking points, and he looks like Mad Magazine cover boy Alfred E. Newman, so he's not going anywhere. What, me worry? Meanwhile, poll leader Bernie Sanders, the 77-year-old socialist who just had a heart attack, whose campaign is filled with Antifa hooligans who are going to lose their shit when Bernie gets robbed again. Oh yeah, the DNC and all the media pundits are all lined up. They're terrified of Bernie, but more on that later. So, I almost forgot. Amy Klobuchar. She sounds sort of reasonable, but did I mention that being reasonable is stupid? Yeah, she's not going anywhere. Maybe she'll get a VP spot. So who's going to win this mess? Bloomberg. Oh yeah, my money's on Bloomberg. As pathetic as he was, pathetic is a step up from the rest of these weasels. And for the party that's constantly talking about getting money out of politics, you can count on them wanting to get as much money out of Bloomberg as they can. That's what they mean when they say getting money out of politics. Money for them. But let's get back to Bernie. Well, the deep state weasels are pulling out all the stops to squash the vermin from Vermont. Yep, Bernie's in the lead. And of course, what comes up? It's Russia, Russia, Russia. That's right. Now Putin is backing Bernie, according to CNN and the other deranged ministries of truthfulness. Honest to God, don't these people ever give it a rest? Chances of this being true are somewhere around zero, and chances of my giving a crap, somewhat less than that. Bernie himself has shrugged off the reports, but good gosh golly, I can hardly wait for the Mueller report part 2 should Sanders somehow squeak through. Sanders was also in the news for touting a recent study from the Lancet Journal that claims Medicare for All would save $450 billion. Oh, yeah, okay, sure. Just like Obamacare was going to save every American $2,400. And you can keep your doctor if you like your doctor too, right? Sorry, next. Moving on to the world of advertising and business. Burger King announced a new super duper natural biodegradable hamburger, or something like that, with a TV ad showing the burger decay into a heap of mold. Let's take a look.
What a difference a day made. I know.
Yummy, yummy. How woke, how progressive. Man, I'm going to run down to my local Burger King and order me up a 34-day-old mold burger. Who the hell wants to eat that? This is like one of the worst ads in the history of advertising. I predict this product will be gone by year's end, so get them while the getting's good. But we don't need to go all the way to Madison Avenue or Washington, D.C. to find stupidity. Oh, no. Let's check in with some of the large brains in my Facebook community. Well, Molly Bluehair was posturing in mock outrage over the state of drinking water on Canadian Indian reservations with the mock question as to why can we build pipelines for oil but not for water? Well, first of all, Molly, water isn't typically delivered by pipelines, not in Land O'Lakes, Canada anyways. But to answer your question, we first have to define we. Because we, meaning you and I, haven't built any pipelines or water treatment plants, nor are we about to start. It turns out that pipelines are built by for-profit companies who have an incentive to make sure they work, and so therefore they do. Meanwhile, the water treatment plants are built by unaccountable government agencies and native contractors who bear no price for failure. And therefore, is it any surprise that they fail? I mean, that's the way it works. If the incentives are screwed up, you're going to get a lousy result. Now, I apologize for delving into basic economic concepts. I don't want to interrupt your moral outrage and preening, so I'll let you get right back to it and we'll move on down my list. Meanwhile, Miss Virginia Herpenderp laid down the law, proclaiming, "Once and for all, there's no such thing as Trump derangement syndrome. There's Trump delusion syndrome. Those holding idiosyncratic beliefs about Trump that are contradicted by reality, sensory perception, or rational argument." And she goes on, but I think you get the idea. It's funny, though. I went and did a search for this Trump delusion syndrome, and the first and every result in Google came back with Trump derangement syndrome, the thing that she says doesn't exist. Well, when I pointed this out to this seeming contradiction to Miss Herpenderp, she of course acknowledged the error right away. No, not. No. She doubled down. "Yes, I'm very aware of the tactics of dismissing and marginalizing criticism by calling critics deranged. I coined the delusional version as it fits the conditions." Well, this is all very interesting. However, I wasn't trying to call you deranged. I was just pointing out that there is a Wikipedia page for Trump derangement syndrome, and there isn't one for Trump delusion syndrome. So I don't know if this means that you're deranged or delusional. It seems to me you're living in an alternative reality. The thoughts inside Miss Virginia's head are real to her, and so she confuses them for reality. And if the actual reality does not conform to her thoughts, then she pronounces reality wrong. I mean, this is really the liberal disease in a sense, where they're living in this fantasy inside their head. I don't know. I think I'll take Thomas Sowell's advice. It's usually futile to try and talk facts and analysis to people who are enjoying a sense of moral superiority in their ignorance. So good luck to you, Miss Virginia. Well, Bill Maher, the supposed big brain of the Occupy Democrats, was quoted this week saying, If you, the citizen, deliberately vote for someone who won't give you health care over someone who will, you need to have your head examined. Except you can't afford to have your head examined. Well, hardy har, you made a joke, Bill. Good for you. But here's the problem. There is nobody to vote for. No politician that is going to give anyone health care. Newsflash, Bernie Sanders is not a doctor. Nor is he a hospital CEO. Neither Bernie, nor Pocahontas, nor Pete Buttigieg has any health care to give. The givers of health care are already out there, and the question at hand is what is the best method or methods for getting their services to the people who need them? And as far as a government-run system, which is what I assume you're supporting here being the best way, I would suggest taking a good hard look at the customer satisfaction ratings of the Veterans Administration before getting too excited about it. And besides, how can doctors and hospitals become cheaper with a layer of government bureaucrats collecting salaries in addition to those doctors and hospitals? Grab a brain, Bill. So it looks like a museum in Minneapolis has been covered with 2,400 life jackets that refugees once wore as a sort of art installation. Now, how stunning and how brave. But I got a question. How many refugees showed up in Minneapolis wearing life jackets? Where'd they come from? Across the river from St. Paul? There's no ocean in Minneapolis. Seems like you're stretching a little bit here, guys. So a guy I know posted a story with his comment, that would be yes. And what's he talking about here? Well, the Fed Chair Powell warns Congress that the $1 trillion budget deficits are unsustainable. Okay, fair enough. But here come the comments from the super geniuses. Here's comment number 1. Funny how we don't hear much from the Republicans anymore about balanced budgets and deficits and the national debt. Excuse me, dummy. That's what you just heard. Chairman Powell was appointed by Trump, and he's warning about the budget deficit. You're hearing it literally right now and complaining that you don't hear about it. And he goes on. But let a Democrat win the presidency this fall, and then their mouths won't shut up about them. Effing hypocrites. Well, you know what? I'm going to give you this. You will hear a lot more noise about it the next time a Democrat's in there. And Republicans, at least as far as what they end up doing, are hypocrites. But not in the way that you're saying it, since the guy is talking about it here right now. Okay, next comment. I agree. This is further proof that trickle-down economics is a failure. Okay, brain surgeon, there is actually no such thing as trickle-down economics. In the entire volume of economic research and schools of thought throughout history, you will not find this described anywhere but in Occupy Dummycrats comments like your own. And let's keep going here. Another comment. Damn hypocrites. Oh, wait, I got the wrong accent.
Damn hypocrites. Only a problem when they're not the ones responsible for it, and it's not benefiting their buddies.
Okay, dear hypocrite. Chairman Powell is a Republican. He's doing what you say he's not doing right now. You are the hypocrites. Now, here's the thing about the budget deficits. I'm not a fan of them. Not a fan of them with Democrats, not a fan of them with Republicans. But the fact of the matter is it's not going away, and the reason it's not going away is you people, the Democrats, you don't give a shit about deficits. Most of you probably don't even know what it is, what it means, or why you should give a shit about it. Next time a debt ceiling comes up, you're going to be saying, it's got to be raised.
You love government spending. You're all about it. So complaining about Republicans being hypocrites is like barking at the moon. So bark on away, little dogs. Bark on away.
Well, that's about as much stupid as I could get through this week. I'm sure there was a bunch more that I missed. And hey, if you out there spot something stupid, send it my way and I'll give it a go. This is very much a work in progress. I'm usually not much of a talker, but I'm working on it. I'll try to get a little more humor in there if I can. But hey, press the subscribe button. Maybe it'll up my viewership. Maybe I'll be able to afford a new microphone or something and get a little better something going on here or other. Anyways, peace out. Have a good week. Don't be stupid.